So hi, Will and Grimes podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Throwback Tuesday posted on a Monday.
Damn right.
We can't be predicted. We can't be stopped. We're keeping things crazy over here.
You won't know our next move.
No, we cannot be contained. We're like wild animals.
It's crazy.
As if you couldn't have told by the title, today we're chatting about Don Broco and the 2018 album Technology. Immediately before starting this, I said to Gloria, are you ready to chat about Don Broco's Technology? And she says, I am so ready. I am so normal about this album.
I fucking love this album.
So I'm gonna let her take it away because she's the resident Don Broco normal enjoyer here of the podcast.
Yeah. They're like just okay. And I think this album is a great example of how just okay they are. So let me get started. This album is incredible. When I first got into Don Broco, I was strictly just listening to Amazing Things.
Fantastic record.
Incredible record. We reviewed it when it first came out, which was 3 years ago now. Me personally, I thought it was okay. And then I just got into them last year, 2023, and went, what the fuck? This band is incredible. I need this band in my veins now. So played the fuck out of that record, saw Technology, listened to Technology while I was still in the mind fuck of Amazing Things, thinking it is the greatest album of all time, which it is up there in my humble opinion. Maybe it's the brain rot, but I listened to Technology and I went, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
Ooh. So then I went back to Amazing Things, played the fuck out of that a couple more thousand times, and then went, I'm giving it a second chance because I want more of this band. I want more to listen to because I'm gonna burn the fuck out of this album. I listened to Technology again. Holy shit. This album is so energetic. This album, the first time I listened to it, I literally got up and had to go run because it made me want to move. I don't know. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it either.
So strange.
It's the fucking brain rot. I'm telling you, dude. Like it was bad. It still is, but I can listen to it like normally now. Like I can sit down and be like, this is a good record.
I'm so
I feel okay
now.
about this. It's okay. I'm not running with it anymore, so that's fine. It opens up with the title track. Actually, let me start. Let me start somewhere else. So, track listing wise, questionable. That is my biggest ick with this record. I think the track listing is so shit. Love the songs, wish it was organized a little better. It is very front-loaded with all of the singles and the super fast, more radio-friendly tracks. With the title track, Stay Ignorant, T-shirt song, Come Out to LA, Pretty. Those are all singles.
And they're all bangers. Yeah.
They're all incredible. Granted, what is it? Stay Ignorant and T-shirt song and The Blues are all post-tour title singles, so technically they weren't released before the album came out. So it's kind of like it's a weird territory there because they are singles, but they were released as singles after the fact. I don't know. Still, as a person who went into singles first and then got into the album, it was kind of like why is this so fucking front-loaded? That's insane. Once you get past Greatness, it's literally like it flips over immediately from, hey, here are all the poppy tracks. Okay, great. So happy you liked those. Now we're going to go into weird, funky shit. I hope you're okay with that. It goes into Porky's, which is kind of like a sassy ass fuck you song. And I really love it. Yeah. It's incredible, right? They get a little heavier with that song. Heavier in Don Broco context. I don't think they're ever going to do metal or go anywhere into that genre, but compared to the rest of their discography, it is probably their heaviest track. Next to Fingernails, probably, which we won't be talking about because it's a fucking standalone single. Thanks so much, guys. Then it goes into Got to Be You, which is the slowest song on the record. It's a love song, yada yada yada, yada whatever. And then it picks right back up with Good Listener, which is my personal favorite track off his entire album. It's so fucking sassy. It's fucking awesome. I love it so much. And then it goes into Yen, which is great. It talks about the music industry, the highs, the lows, mainly just the lows and how broke they are. And they're like, we're so fucking poor. Please help us. We're so broke. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, guys, we get it. Something to Drink is it gets really slow near the last couple songs of the record. I'm sorry, I'm going track by track. This album genuinely has me in like a fucking headlock. With Something to Drink, it goes down again. It's a very slow, somber, woozy track. I like it a lot, but it is one that I do skip. Sorry, guys. Because I've heard it so many times, and just compared to the rest of the album, it pales in comparison. Like it could have been a B-side if they wanted it to be, and I would have been okay with that, but it's fine. Blood in the Water picks right back up again. Really great. I love it. And Potty Mouth is fucking awesome. It is a great closer. And then if you skip to the last 40 seconds of Potty Mouth, you'll get to the demo/jam version of Something to Drink, which is really silly and awesome because you can hear them giggling and they're just fucking around in the studio doing God knows what. Now, I'm gonna let you start, and then I have more stuff to say.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned the track list, because that is the first thing I picked up on. This is the record outside of Amazing Things, because we've listened to it and I've seen them a couple times, and obviously they've been touring off of that when I saw them. But this is the other album that they were mainly pulling songs from, so I've heard a couple of these songs in advance, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, as much as you can going into this band. But this was my first time listening to the album in full, and the first thing I picked up on is, honestly, as you said, how front loaded it is. Not even realizing the amount of singles or anything like that, just the fact that they smack you in the face 8 or 9 times in a row. And then the album just basically begins this whiplash of up and down. And I wish that it had not done that, and that we could have went a little bit more like this throughout the whole record. Because like it's absolutely lethal having T-Shirt Song come out to LA and Pretty next to each other. Like, that is a fantastic run, and I honestly don't think that should have changed. But like, it's just the second half of the record, there was nothing that compares to a run like that. And it gets a little weird, and like on the first listen, you're kind of like, what the fuck? Like, is this even the same album at certain points? Which is the Don Broco vibe. They are super unique, and they do whatever the fuck they want. And sometimes you think you know what's coming next, and then it's the complete opposite. That's what goes on with this band. But this is such a drastic switch, where it is kind of like jarring, even if you are a fan of the band, just on a first listen through this record. So that was the main thing I picked up on. But I'm a big fan of this album. Going into it, the songs that I had heard are T-Shirt Song, Come Out to LA, Pretty, and Everybody, which are still some of my favorites off of the album. Pretty is hands down my favorite off of the record.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yes, it rocks so goddamn hard. And I also really like Everybody. I think it's very it's very high energy. It's what I expect from Don Broco, that kind of big energy, big song. So big fan of those, but I also really wound up liking the blues, and Yen, and Stay Ignorant, and Technology. I could sit here and name a good chunk of the album as favorites, but those are some of the ones that I hadn't heard already that I came away with enjoying as well. Overall, incredibly solid album. Continues to be weird in the Don Broco way, but this is, I think, the first couple of times you had mentioned, like, it's very much like a product of the times, where I feel like this is the album where, like, the Don Broco that we know becomes the Don Broco that we know, and it's no longer like, it's still obviously a product of the time. I mean, it came out in 2018 and it is a product of 2018, but it's not like there's a lot less influence and a lot more of just Don Broco being Don Broco on the album. So I think that is very exciting and very fun, because it does, like, obviously hearing these songs next to Amazing Things songs live, I think they all work together well. It's all kind of like the same kind of Don Broco.
Weird.
Yeah.
That was gonna be one of my next points. I had two, and that was one of them. So fuck you. Was you can clearly see kind of where they start to think for themselves, not in like a disrespectful way, like they were kind of droning on autopilot with their last two records. Because as I said, if you watch those are still two of my favorite records of all time. They are fucking incredible. But with this next record, Amazing Things, and then Technology, you can see that they're starting to go, oh wait, we could just do whatever we want because it's our band. Okay, cool. Like Potty Mouth, Yen, like I've never heard songs like that where it's so strange and it's really good. And I don't know how they come up with shit like this and because it's not kind of like that stereotypical alternative music. It's not something that you just hear on the radio every now and then. It is something, and that's what got me into them, where it's just like, I've literally never heard something like this before. What the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
That's it. Final point. Another thing that I really like about this record, of the many fucking things, as I've said, Jesus Christ, Dick Rider, is how prominent now Matt is. In the last record, he was obviously there with the opener, and he's front and center in that chorus. It's fucking crazy, and you're like, goddamn, who is this beautiful angelic voice? That's awesome. He has like two of his own songs on this record. Come on to LA. Come on to LA. Come on to and then he also has Everybody. Yeah. Those are like his songs, which is incredible. I think he is an amazing vocalist. And I love that he is now we're 6 years late, but you know, he's stepping into kind of like, as we said in the last the last review, where it's kind of, they are two vocalists now. And I feel like this record really solidified, hey, two frontmen, two main vocalists that once you listen to it, you're going to want more of this. You're going to expect Matt and Rob on the same track. And that just makes me really happy, because going from Priorities, their first record, he's there in choruses and stuff, but he's like he doesn't have his own songs. You know, he was only kind of invited to the party. Now he is the party on some of the songs. He is the fucking party, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, as I said, favorites. I'm gonna say Good Listener is my all-time favorite. Come Out to LA and Pretty are also really, so normal really about Come Out to LA. It's fucking crazy. It's like a not a code word. What is it? Where it's like it like unlock something in your head, like a I'm not core memory word or something. Core memory? No, it's like fuck, whatever the hell it's called. It's like Bucky from Winter Soldier, where he has like words that you have to say to kind of like turn his brain on, or whatever the hell. That every time I hear Matt's vocals, it's like something shifted in the world. I'm so normal about this band. I think they create incredible music, big enjoyer. And again, just track listing. That's my one thing. Yeah, that's been done better. That is my one thing as well, is the track listing. You know, for the same reason that you mentioned. But outside of that, you know, song wise and all of that, it's another fantastic record. You know, Don Broco does what Don Broco wants in terms of that, and you're either for the ride or it's not for you. So, you know, they continue to do that. You know, as we both mentioned, it finally becomes unique and feels like Don Broco, and the Don Broco that is
present day. At least at this point, we don't know what they're working on, what that's going to sound like. You know, they could do something completely different, because that's just what they do. There is zero expectation when it comes to Don Broco, outside of the buttery smooth vocals of Rob and the angelic vocals of Matt. That's about all you're getting, and some dope ass bass lines,
dude. And don't even get me started on the fucking riffs, dude.
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Simon, the guitarist that you are, insane. Oh my god. It's insane. Sorry. I almost got over.
No, you're good. So those are our thoughts on Don Broco and their 2018 album Technology. Next week, we'll be chatting about amazing things. I know Glory said earlier, we've already spoken about it because the podcast was doing the podcast thing when that album came out. But we will be revisiting it because it was before this year where we started clipping the reviews and posting them on our channel as separate things. And, you know, Glory's thoughts at least have definitely changed on the album since we talked about it. So it'll be good to revisit it. We've got reviews of their last two records, Automatic and Priorities, on the channel as well. If that interests you, go check them out. We got plenty of interviews, plenty of other reviews, if that's your cup of tea. Other than that, you can follow us on Twitter. It's Good_Noise_Cast. Instagram is Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. And throw us a subscribe here on YouTube. It helps us out a ton. And other than that, I've been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. See you when we see you. Bye.
Bye.